program, weekday mornings at 9:06 on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to HealthTech Talk, broadcasting from iHeart Radio Studios, 640 WGST, and streaming worldwide on the iHeart Radio Network. I'm Ben Chodor, your host. All right, I have one of my favorite guests on. I've interviewed him in the past. I'm a huge fan of everything Qualcomm Life is doing. My guest is Rick Valencia. He is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Qualcomm Life. What I like about Rick is he's an entrepreneur. He's done it, right? So 25 years in the business of being an entrepreneur, starting companies, selling companies, and now he's part of one of the largest companies in the world doing Qualcomm Life. Can't wait for him to tell you about it. But also, he's really innovative, and he's a really good guy. Rick, welcome to the show. How are you today, and how's San Diego treating you?
Ben, I'm doing great. Thank you very much. It's great being here with you today. And San Diego is actually raining, believe it or not.
Oh, I can't feel bad.
That very often. But today it's...
But rainy and 70, right?
Rainy and 70, of course.
So, Rick, I want to jump right in. I'll tell the audience just a little bit about your background and how'd you end up at Qualcomm Life?
Yeah, you said it pretty well. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, and I had built a couple of businesses that I had sold, and I was sort of just trying to decide what I was going to do next. I happened to be good friends with the president of Qualcomm at the time, and I was over at his house on New Year's having a glass of wine, and he said, you know what, while you're trying to figure out what you want to do next, you should come on over to Qualcomm and see if you can't help us out here. And I came over, and I was sort of an entrepreneur in residence for a few months at Qualcomm, and then they asked me if I'd focus in on this wireless health thing, and my first response was, hey, I'm not really a healthcare guy. I don't think I can help out. But they said, we really need a business guy. We need an entrepreneur to see if we can't take what we've been doing for a few years in terms of evangelizing in the space and make a real business out of it. And I thought, you know what? That's going to be an area that's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of change, and I'm up for the challenge. And here I am 3 years later, and I actually had lunch with a friend of mine the other day who's a tech guy, and we were talking. He says, you know what? You sound like a healthcare guy now. And I said, that's only because you're not.
Right.
But thank you.
So Rick, so tying into that question, so why did Qualcomm decide to start Qualcomm Life and get into the space? Like, where did it come from?
Well, as mentioned, Qualcomm had been promoting the concept of using wireless technology in healthcare for 6 or 7 years prior, and it had come from above, from the CEO, Paul Jacobs. He was a big believer in the technology very early on. He was very instrumental in forming what was the original formation of West Wireless with Eric Topol. And we have, as a company, we've been involved in a number of different startups, including CardioComm way back when, and CardioNet, and a whole bunch of companies in terms of providing the core technology. But it was time that we figured out a way to leverage that evangelism and the ecosystem building into a commercial effort when they asked me to take a look at it.
So is technology transforming healthcare, and if so, how?
Technology is and will dramatically transform healthcare on a number of fronts, and I think it's, if you think about it in very high-level, simple terms, we're digitizing health information. And if you think about the digitization of any industry, once the genie's out of the bottle, it never goes back in. And the value of data and the ability to analyze data and to be able to react to that in near real time improves everything. So, it gets much more granular in terms of what the actual offerings are, but it's all about digitizing health information and taking that out of file cabinets and fax machines and the body and putting it in the cloud where it can be analyzed and made meaningful.
So, but isn't traditionally healthcare's always been a brick and mortar? You go to your doctor when you're sick. How important is remote monitoring? How important is technology to take care of the patient after they leave the doctor, or take care of a patient before they come to a doctor? Is that how it's all wrapping together?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think that You're right, and it always will be to some degree. For you're never going to get surgery with your mobile phone. You're always going to have a reason that you're going to need to see a doctor. There's always going to be a need for lots of very good doctors. But there's so many things that today we spend time on both on the clinician side, the doctors, and us as patients, that is completely wasted. Think about the drive to the doctor's office, the wait in the lobby, and you're sitting amongst people that might even be sicker than you, passing on their sickness until you get 7 or 8 minutes in front of the doctor, and then you take the long drive home again. All that time wasted, and what you did when you went in there is you answered a few questions with the doctor, and you gave him your blood pressure reading, you stood on a weight scale. A lot of that stuff can be done very quickly, very easily, remotely, and also it can be done continuously. So the people with serious conditions need to be monitored after they've been diagnosed or discharged from the hospital. But also people who are trending in the wrong direction could benefit from that sort of continuous analysis in advance of them showing up at the hospital to help keep them from getting these conditions and getting real sick. And a little bit of both, in my view.
And I guess it's not just only the caregivers, it's family members now have an ability with technology to sort of monitor their loved ones who might be older or remote. I mean, does that tie into it as well?
Absolutely. It's like having a guardian angel with you at all times. I think mobile enables so much. It enables that the data to flow in near real time, to be back to your doctor, to be to your broader care team, anyone who might be involved in helping to make sure you stay well and get the help you need if you do have an incident where you need any form of intervention. And, we use the mobile phone for so many other activities like that are fairly mundane, like just sending a text or making a phone call or taking a picture and sending it to a family member. Think of those same capabilities and optimized for a patient with a serious chronic disease and made simple. And that's one of the big challenges we have as an industry, is to make these things more simple, more engaging, and get these patients who really need this type of technology excited about being involved in it, because it makes them, it improves their quality of life and makes them feel better.
I want to remind the audience, we're talking to Rick Valencia. He is the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Qualcomm Life. It's an amazing company. They're doing amazing things. But here's a question I got, Rick. So is Qualcomm Life, are you guys creating products, partnering with companies, investing in companies? So what's the full role?
Well, a little bit of everything, but mostly what Qualcomm Life is all about is we're creating the enabling infrastructure. So we're kind of creating the highway that all of this health information is going to run over. What we've learned is that healthcare doesn't understand mobile technology real well. The development cycles in mobile technology, you get a new phone every year or two. The technologies, the radio technologies that exist in phones change every few years. The network technology, we move from 2G to 3G to 4G, eventually to 5G. All that changes. And in healthcare, medical devices need to go through regulatory approval. They need to go through trials to prove they actually provide benefit to the patient. And that takes a long time. So they work in very different cycles at very different paces. And we're helping to sort of intermediate those two. So we work through partners. Qualcomm Life works through partners in the pharmaceutical space, in the provider space, in the medical device space, and also just general health services, so chronic disease management services, home care type services, where we build that infrastructure, and then they create the health solutions that they deliver to their patients.
Which is amazing.
Oh, and by the way, you asked about investments as well. We also are making investments in early-stage companies. We have a $100 million Qualcomm Life fund where we make investments in startups in digital health.
Rick, up to this date, since you joined the organization and you started Qualcomm Life, how many companies have you guys invested in about?
14, to be exact.
And how is the industry? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, and it runs the gamut in terms of the different sectors. What we're really interested in isn't so much in the financial return. We do have a traditional corporate venture fund here, but we're really interested in helping to move the market. We want to promote early-stage companies in every segment of the marketplace. So we have some device companies, we have service companies, we have home care companies, we have, and in the devices, we have them around diabetes, we have them around cardiac measurement, all different categories.
So the market's still open, right? There's still room for startup companies in the space.
There's not only room, there's need. I think there's a lot of fundamental technology that exists today that can help deliver on solutions. So it's not a good excuse to say we don't have the technology. We do have the technology, but what's important is bringing all that technology together, integrating it, making it interoperable, and making it user-friendly so that patients engage. And there's a ton of room still in this space for entrepreneurs to get involved in helping solve those types of problems.
Rick, I got to interrupt you because I got to take a break. I want everyone to know you're listening to Health Tech Talk, and we'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
Hey, it's Kim with Superior Chevrolet. Do you know why customers from all over Atlanta, even as far out as Buford, come to Superior Chevrolet for their truck? It's because of our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection, which, by the way, no other dealer can offer. And it's no charge. Let me say that again. We're the only dealer to offer exclusive lifetime powertrain protection at no charge, which is a pretty good reason to stop in.
Superior Chevrolet.
Your dealership for life.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest. Is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own, so you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural. With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-317-7853. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last. Just call 1-800-317-7853. That's 1-800-317-7853. 1-800-317-7853.
Do you want to learn how to mask your identity to browse inappropriate websites and stream media while at the office?
Well, we can't help you with that. But among the many IT problems we solve, Barracuda's web security solutions keep online activity clean and ensure internet bandwidth performance. Reclaim your network, like 150,000 other businesses already have. To learn more about preventing web-based threats, visit barracuda.com/web.
Today, Geico's stuff found in your car takes us under your passenger seat.
Hello, darling. Remember me? That earring you lost? I thought we were close, but then it took 15 minutes to notice I was missing in this ghastly carpeting. That's 15 minutes you could have used to switch your car insurance to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars. Money you could use for new earrings. And wouldn't that be nice? For you.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com today.
You appreciate the feeling of a clean, smooth shave from a quality blade. So why are you messing around with generic razors that cost $32 for an 8-pack when you can shave with Harry's high-quality German-engineered blades for half the price? Harry's will give you their starter set, complete with a razor, 3 of their world-famous blades, and shaving cream for just $10. And shipping is always free. We'll also give you $5 off your first order. So go to harrys.com right now and enter code 8855 at checkout. Code 8855.
Are you living with prostate enlargement? Do you pee more often than you used to? Do you wake up to go? Be honest. Is there a drop in your romantic life? Prostate problems don't go away on their own, so you need to call for a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 non-prescription formula for your prostate. The ingredients are natural. With Super Beta Prostate, you'll have less urges to urinate, less waking at night, and an improvement in your romantic life, guaranteed. Try it for free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-458-1543. Super Beta Prostate is so powerful, you'd have to take 100 saw palmetto capsules to get the same active ingredient in just one Super Beta Prostate tablet. Stop running to the bathroom and call us now for your free bottle. Hurry, this free offer won't last.
Just call 1-800-458-1543. That's 1-800-458-1543. 1-800-458-1543.
The Dave Ramsey Show, Monday at 2:06 on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to HealthTech Talk, broadcasting on the iHeart Radio Network and 640 WGST, and streaming worldwide on the iHeart Radio Network. With me is Rick Valencia, Senior Vice President and General Manager, Qualcomm Life. We've been talking about Qualcomm Life's role in the whole digital healthcare revolution, and we just were touching on the whole startup world, because they have a $100 million fund and they've done investments. And what we were just talking about is, I was asking Rick, is there still room for companies? So it's not crazy if someone has an idea that they should go forward with it in this space. And that's where we left off. So Rick, if you want to finish your answer.
Yeah, it's absolutely not crazy. In fact, healthcare needs tech entrepreneurs. They need innovators that will push the envelope. Healthcare is going to move more slowly. There are regulatory issues that are going to scare entrepreneurs, but that's sort of table stakes. You've got to figure that stuff out, and you can figure that stuff out, because healthcare is not going to innovate from the inside. They're going to need us to help them push the envelope. So the more entrepreneurs, the better, in my view.
So how long ago? You joined the company, what, like 4 years ago? About? How long ago?
Yeah.
So how much has this...
about 3 years ago.
How much, about 4 years ago. How much has the space changed? Like, so what's the biggest difference from when Qualcomm Life launched to now?
Well, the most noticeable change for us has been the evolution of the thinking of industry from when we began to where we are now. And I'll just use one segment as a good example. So pharmaceutical companies, when we first started meeting with them, they would send in executives who said they had a serious interest in this, and we'd spend a whole bunch of time with them, and then they'd go back. We wouldn't hear from them for a while because they were probably doing their own internal projects or acquiring companies, and they didn't really have much of a charter anyway. Then we started hearing from the innovation team. So they started getting a little bit more serious about it and realized that some of this stuff they were trying to do themselves wasn't working. So they developed internal innovation teams, and we started hearing from those guys and feeding them information. But now what I'm hearing from is I'm hearing from executives with a title that indicates that they own digital health for that business, and they have projects with timelines and budgets and staff to get these things done. And so we're doing real deployments now of some very, very interesting solutions that run the gamut from chronic care management, where we're helping provide tools to do remote patient monitoring for chronic disease, to digital therapeutics, where we're helping to take medications and get those connected to the network so that patients can be monitored for adherence and compliance, and even to help be educated on when to take the next medication and how much to take.
It's great. So I'm going to assume that you were at HIMSS last week, which is this huge health conference that was Chicago. There was tons and tons of people there. Did you see any new technologies there that sort of blew you away or that got you excited?
You know, what I saw there, that's not necessarily the place for lots of fancy new technology. That, for the most part, is a place that kind of gives you a sense of the vibe of where the industry is going. And what I saw there is I saw a lot of activity around digital health initiatives, connected health. I saw, traditionally in the last several years you would go there and it felt very EMR-centric.
Yep.
Now it feels a lot more about how you get the EMRs the type of data that they need to manage patients remotely, and how do you connect the EMRs, and how does that information flow seamlessly, not just from one hospital's EMR to their other branch, but around the health system. So in a coordinated care environment and an ACO, everybody can see that information. So it felt much more alive around the connectivity element. In fact, Dr. Eric Topol was there and spoke on behalf of Walgreens, and that was his observation as well.
Also, so here's Rick. I'm a big wearables guy, but is there wearable overload? When are wearables going to do something more than just track my steps? And when are they going to start doing something? Do you see that coming down the pike?
We do. And in fact, we're making a pretty big bet on that in the long term. But what we see is we think that the wearables craze has been phenomenal, and I hope it keeps running for a while, because what it's done is it's created much more consumer awareness about the art of the possible of continuous monitoring, even if it's silly stuff right now like competing for the number of steps. But eventually what we see is that a lot of the biometric data that is needed to help monitor a patient with a chronic condition, that is going to be captured on what we like to refer to as invisible. So there'll be wearable devices that'll be very small, likely patches. They'll be optimized for the mobile devices. They'll have to be very inexpensive, likely be worn for a day, maybe a week at the most, and then thrown away. And we think that they'll be capturing multiple biometric signals, or vital signs, not just one or two. And in that world, we're going to be helping patients monitor very serious conditions. And that is what Qualcomm Life is about. We're about building medical-grade infrastructure for the healthcare industry to deliver these types of care solutions outside of the hospital and outside of the doctor's office. We really like the wearables craze. We're even invested a little bit in it. But in terms of where our focus is, it's more on the medical grade than it is on the consumer wellness fitness craze that's going on right now.
Right. Qualcomm and Qualcomm Life, you're positioned to help with the bigger problem, right? So, which is really exciting. So
that's what Qualcomm Life is up to.
If you were going to put on your crystal ball, look into the crystal ball, where are we going to be if I interview in like 12 to 24 months? What do you think the biggest changes in a year to 2 years from now is going to be?
I think in a year from now, it's not even going to take 2 years, that we're going to be able to point to some very large deployments. And, let's say large for where this market is right now would actually only be thousands. But I think we'll be as far as tens of thousands of deployed solutions in different categories, in digital therapeutics, for example, in remote patient monitoring or chronic care management. And we'll be able to point to very specific outcomes and results as a result of using these types of solutions. 5 years from now, where I think we're going to be is we're going to think to ourselves, I cannot believe that we wasted so much time and got so little benefit out of the way we used to be diagnosed, the way we used to receive care, the way we used to receive our chronic disease management solutions. I think we're going to also be in a very mobile world where healthcare is going to be in the palm of your hand. It's going to be always on. Your phone is going to be a part of your care team, and you're going to just expect it. It won't be mobile health then. It'll just be part of your health care, and we'll just, it'll be part of life the way a lot of other things have converged into the phone.
So you're totally jazzed about the future, and even the present.
I'm really jazzed about the future. The present is hard work. It's a lot of heavy lifting to get this market moving. Qualcomm's made a big bet in the space. We're very excited about the long-term opportunity, and we're going to continue to invest pretty heavily in it.
That is awesome. Rick, thank you, and thank you, Qualcomm Life. I need to end the show. I want to thank everyone at 1-800-Public Relations for all their media and PR support, and especially to Stream VPG, Scott, Gene, and John for all their help. Couldn't do the show without you guys. And for all you listeners out there, you have an incredible...